My name is Diamond Pratt, and I got dared by one of my friends to do, I guess, a cinnamon challenge. See how it works. See? Here's the cinnamon. Okay. Fuck me, right? Oh, damn, that's fucking nasty.